The message arrived while I was checking inventory for a new shipment at my store. I didn't even notice my phone vibrating until I looked up and saw the screen light up with a familiar name. I'm gone, don't call, don't text. I'm heading to California with Madison. Oh, and by the way, our joint account is completely empty now. Good luck figuring things out, haha. I read each word slowly, making sure I wasn't misinterpreting anything. I blinked once, twice. There was no shock, no pain, no trembling hands or heart racing like people often describe in moments of betrayal, just a cold sensation creeping down my spine before vanishing, as if I had been expecting this for a long time. Madison, 23, blonde, a sweet smile, and eyes that sparkled with admiration every time he spoke. The new barista at the cafe across the street where Adam, my husband 3 years younger than me, stopped every morning under the pretense of getting a latte before heading to work. I had seen this coming from miles away, from the stolen glances, from the way he suddenly started hitting the gym, buying new cologne, styling his hair like he was trying to turn back time to his 20s. I lowered my gaze and resumed checking the autumn coats that had just arrived. A beige, long-cut one, perfect for one of my most loyal customers, Haley, a busy attorney who always preferred simplicity with elegance. I snapped a picture and sent it to her with a short question. Like it? Adam thought I would panic. He thought I would cry, beg, or rush to the airport like some tragic character in a cheap soap opera. But what he didn't know was that I had been preparing for this day for 6 months. The first time I noticed his change was when he started staying out later. The endless late-night meetings, the sudden business trips that never appeared on his work schedule. Then one day, I found a receipt from an upscale restaurant on the very night he claimed to be working late. A dinner for 2. I didn't need any more proof. The next day I opened a separate bank account. I began discreetly transferring small amounts of my personal income there, ensuring that our joint account maintained just enough balance to avoid suspicion. When Adam suggested merging our finances to simplify everything, I smiled and agreed, while keeping my real savings safely elsewhere. Beyond that, I started gathering evidence. Credit card statements, hotel invoices, suspicious transactions from a jewelry store. Pieces I never saw make their way home. Every night while he slept beside me, I quietly took photos of every questionable expense. I didn't know exactly how I would use them, but I knew that sooner or later I would need them. And today was that day. My store was as busy as any Friday afternoon. I smiled as I greeted customers, helped them pick out items, and offered advice on colors. No one knew that my 10-year marriage had just ended with one cheap text message. I waited until the last customer left, carefully turned off the payment system, and locked up the store. The late afternoon sun tinted the storefront glass in a golden hue, reflecting the image of a woman standing there, her eyes not red, her hands steady. I picked up my phone, scrolled through Adam's messages once more, and dialed a number. The call on the other end was answered almost immediately. "What's going on?" Laura's voice, the lawyer I'd hired 2 months ago, rang out. "He's just left," I said curtly. "You know what to do." "Of course," Laura replied calmly, as if she'd been waiting for this call for a long time. "I'll file the divorce papers with the court first thing tomorrow." I hung up, tucked my phone into my pocket, and stepped out of the store, blending into the bustling crowd on the street. Adam thought he had won, but he had no idea that this game was never his to play. Just as I got home, my phone rang again. I didn't even need to check the screen. I knew exactly who was texting. "I'll have someone come by to pick up your stuff tomorrow. Don't touch a thing of mine. I'm being nice, giving you time to adjust to living on your own." I stared at the message, a cold smile briefly crossing my face. Adjust, huh? I'd been adjusting for a long time, Adam. I held the screen, snapped a screenshot of the message, and forwarded it straight to Laura. "He said someone's coming to pick up his things tomorrow. Do you need me to do anything?" I texted. Laura replied immediately. "No response, just let him think you're panicking. I've got everything planned." I turned off message notifications and walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and grabbed the bottle of wine I'd been saving for a special occasion. Maybe today was that day. I poured a glass, slowly savoring each sip. Adam thought he was the one in control of this game. He had no idea that the moment he emptied our joint account, I had already secured my victory. And then my phone lit up again. "I know this must be really difficult for you, but you'll be fine. Someone like you can find a guy more suited to your age. I truly hope you have a happy life, though it'll probably be pretty boring." A condescending, arrogant message, as if he were graciously granting me a chance to start over. I didn't bother responding. Instead, I called the bank. I need to report some fraudulent transactions. The banker's voice was professional and composed. Yes, ma'am, please provide the details. I enunciated every word clearly. 2 first-class plane tickets to Los Angeles booked this morning, along with a hotel payment at Sunset Plaza. Do you have any proof? I opened Adam's message and read his exact words aloud. I'm heading to California with Madison. Oh, and by the way, our joint account is completely empty now. Good luck figuring things out. Huh. The banker was silent for a few seconds before responding. We'll take care of this immediately, Mrs. Harrison. The transactions will be cancelled and Mr. Harrison's credit card will be locked right away. Thank you, I said before hanging up. Tomorrow, Adam and Madison would arrive at the airport feeling triumphant, only to realize they had no tickets, no hotel, no grand getaway as they had envisioned. And I wouldn't have to lift a finger. Just sit back and wait for the news to come to me. The next morning my phone rang. Not from Adam, but from another familiar number. This is Tanya, Adam's mother's voice came through. What the hell did you do? I took a deep breath, leaning back in my chair as calm as if this were just a casual conversation. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Tanya. Don't play dumb. Adam said you did something to his credit card. He and Madison are stuck at the airport. They can't go anywhere. He says you canceled his transactions. I shrugged even though she couldn't see me. Oh, is that so? I simply reported fraudulent transactions. Our joint credit card isn't Adam's personal property for him to spend freely on his new girlfriend. The silence stretched for a few seconds. Tanya, I continued calmly, do you know that your son emptied our joint account? That he cheated on me and announced our divorce through a text message? He said you didn't care about him anymore. Her voice wavered slightly. That you pushed him away. I let out a small laugh. Oh, I have Adam's messages. Want to hear them? I have the one where he bragged about taking all the money, and plenty of proof of his lies. Tanya was quiet for a few seconds, then let out a sigh. I didn't think he would do that. I just know he's panicking right now. That's no longer my problem. I ended the conversation, not giving her a chance to make any more excuses for her son. By that afternoon the news had spread through our mutual friends. Adam and Madison were stuck renting a cheap motel near the airport, furious when they realized they couldn't rebook their flights, or hotel, with his frozen credit cards. My phone kept buzzing with angry messages from Adam. You just ruined everything for me. You're so cruel. Couldn't you just let me leave in peace? You'll regret doing this to me. I didn't bother reading the rest. I simply took screenshots, forwarded them to Laura, and went back to work. Adam thought he could walk away without facing any consequences. But he was wrong. And this was just the beginning. 3 weeks after Adam disappeared with Madison, I received an official notice from his lawyer. My client is requesting a fair division of marital assets, including a stake in your fashion boutique, savings accounts, and jointly owned real estate. I wasn't surprised. I knew Adam wouldn't leave empty-handed. He had always been greedy and arrogant, convinced that my success was because of him. Laura sat across from me, her expression as calm as ever. She held the file we had been preparing for months in her hands. He doesn't have a case, she said, flipping through a page in the file. The boutique is solely yours, established before the marriage, the house as well. He has no legal claim to any of it. I smiled. Then let's let him embarrass himself in court. On the day of the hearing, Adam showed up wearing a suit I recognized instantly, the same one I had bought for him 4 years ago, back when he still pretended to be a decent husband. But now it looked out of place on him. He no longer carried the arrogant confidence he once did. Madison wasn't there. She had probably already realized that Adam wasn't the golden ticket she had imagined. His lawyer, a sharp-looking man with graying hair, stood up to present his case. My client has supported his wife in building her business throughout their marriage, providing financial assistance, management help, and contributing ideas for its growth. Therefore, he is entitled to a portion of the business's profits. Laura let out a quiet chuckle and placed a stack of documents on the judge's desk. Your Honor, here is the boutique's business registration showing it was established 2 years before the marriage began. These are financial statements proving all initial investments came solely from my client's personal account. And here are Mr. Harrison's own messages referring to the boutique as a useless hobby and a childish little project for years. The judge reviewed the documents before raising an eyebrow at Adam. Mr. Harrison, do you have any evidence that you financially contributed to or played a managerial role in this business? Adam licked his lips nervously before muttering, I was always there to support her. The judge flipped through the printed messages and read aloud. Go play with your little shop, at least it keeps you busy instead of bothering me. This business isn't bringing in anything. We could actually make money if you were willing to sell it. You spend too much time on that stupid store instead of taking care of me. The judge turned to Adam. This is what you consider support, Mr. Harrison? Adam's face turned bright red. His lawyer scrambled to recover. My client also has a claim to the house where they lived together during the marriage. Laura slid another set of documents forward. This property was inherited from my client's grandmother and has been solely in her name since before the marriage. It was never part of any shared assets. Mr. Harrison has no claim to it whatsoever. The judge concluded, the court denies all claims to the boutique and the house. Mr. Harrison is only entitled to the joint account, which he emptied. Based on the evidence, these funds must be repaid. Adam was stunned. I already spent it all. The judge raised an eyebrow. Then I suggest you find a way to repay it. Otherwise, we will consider enforcing collection from your personal assets. Adam's mouth fell open, but he had no argument left. He had lost. Completely. After the trial, I heard from a few mutual acquaintances that Adam had been demoted. His company had discovered his relationship with Madison and deemed it unprofessional. He had hoped for a promotion, but now, he was just another ordinary employee. And Madison? She left him. A few days later, Adam's sister Amanda texted me. Madison dumped him. She's been telling everyone that Adam is a broke loser. Now he has to move back in with our parents. I felt no pity. I remembered how he had mocked me, how he had claimed I couldn't survive without him. And yet here he was, the one who had lost everything. Adam, 41 years old, unemployed, broke, homeless and girlfriendless, now living in his childhood bedroom like a failure. And me, I was planning the opening of my second boutique. He thought he could destroy me. But I didn't just survive, I won. My second boutique opened on a December evening just in time for the holiday season. The soft golden lights reflected off the glass storefront, showcasing the winter collection in an elegant display. A line of eager customers formed outside, waiting for their turn to step inside. I couldn't help but feel proud, not just because years of hard work had paid off, but because this moment proved that I never needed Adam. I never had. News of my success spread faster than I expected. A local magazine featured me as a businesswoman who turned personal failure into professional growth. I received congratulations from old customers, even from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Meanwhile, Adam was still struggling. Amanda told me that he had attempted to file an appeal, claiming that I had used money from our joint account to expand my boutique over the years, entitling him to a share of the business. But my financial records were airtight. My lawyer didn't need much time to have his case thrown out of court. He's been given a serious warning this time, Laura said when she called me after the hearing. The judge ruled that if he continues filing baseless claims, he'll face penalties for abusing the legal system. I laughed. It was almost comical how someone who had once mocked me, belittled my work, was now desperately trying to cling to it. Adam's parents were also starting to see him for who he really was. At first they defended him, blaming me for abandoning their son. But after months of watching Adam fail to hold a stable job, recklessly spend the little money he had left, and blame everyone but himself, they were growing tired. One day Amanda showed up at my store. She looked around, admiration evident in her eyes. Congratulations, the new store is beautiful. I smiled. Thank you, how's everything? Amanda let out a long sigh. My parents are losing their minds over Adam. They thought that once he moved back home he'd try to get his life together, but no, all he does is complain about how you ruined his life, how you should have given him a share of your assets. I shrugged. That's not my concern anymore. Amanda nodded. I just wanted you to know. At first I blamed you too, but after seeing how he behaves, I understand now. He's not a victim. He's just someone who refuses to take responsibility for himself. I wasn't surprised. People like Adam could deceive others for a while, but eventually the truth always came out. A few weeks later, an unexpected visitor appeared at my store. Madison. She looked nothing like the last time I had seen her in those social media pictures. Photos of extravagant dinners, expensive cocktails, all funded by my money. Now she stood in front of me, looking exhausted, her eyes filled with uncertainty. "Hi, can I talk to you for a moment?" I crossed my arms, leaning slightly against the checkout counter. "I don't think we have anything to talk about." Madison bit her lip, glancing at the floor before looking back up at me. I just wanted to apologize." I said nothing, waiting for her to continue. "I believed him. I believed everything he said about you. He told me you were selfish, controlling, that you never truly loved him." Madison took a deep breath. "I was stupid enough to believe it. But then he started saying the exact same things about me. That I didn't know how to love him properly. That I didn't understand the pressure he was under. When things got difficult, he started blaming me, just like he blamed you." I looked at her, no longer angry, just a little pity. Madison had thought she was special, that she was the one who could change Adam. But the truth was, Adam had never changed. He simply moved from one woman to the next, hoping the next one would tolerate him longer. "I don't need your apology," I said bluntly, "but I hope you won't let someone like Adam ruin your life." Madison nodded. "I left him. And this time, I'm not going back." She walked away, leaving me with the realization that this wasn't just about me and Adam anymore. I hadn't just gotten revenge, I had protected myself. And in the process, I had helped another woman recognize her own worth. A year ago, I had been shattered by a cruel text message. Now, I was no longer a victim. I was the winner. 2 years after Adam left, I stood in front of a brand new store, my 5th boutique in the fashion empire I had built with my own hands. The sleek, elegant sign glowed under the city lights, while streams of customers flowed in and out, and my staff busily arranged the latest collections on the shelves. I couldn't help but smile at the irony of it all. The day Adam sent that message mocking me, he sneered that I only had that little shop to cling to. But that very shop had brought me to a level of success he could never have imagined. News of my career spread farther than I had ever expected. I was invited to speak at women's business conferences, sharing my story of financial independence and the lessons I had learned from my failed marriage. Time and time again after my speeches, women I had never met before would approach me, gratitude shining in their eyes. "I was in the same situation as you," a middle-aged woman told me after one event. "But after hearing your story, I finally found the courage to walk away. I wasn't just building a business. I was creating something bigger, a movement. A message to women that they didn't need to depend on anyone to live a fulfilling life." While I was thriving, Adam's life was falling apart. I didn't need to keep tabs on him. Updates about his downfall found their way to me. He couldn't hold a stable job, his debts were piling up. After Madison left him, he had nowhere else to go but back to his parents' house. "I believed him. I believed everything he said about you. He told me you were selfish, controlling, that you never truly loved him." Madison took a deep breath. "I was stupid enough to believe it. But then he started saying the exact same things about me. That I didn't know how to love him properly, that I didn't understand the pressure he was under. When things got difficult, he started blaming me, just like he blamed you." I looked at her, no longer angry, just a little pity. Madison had thought she was special, that she was the one who could change Adam. But the truth was, Adam had never changed. He simply moved from one woman to the next, hoping the next one would tolerate him longer. "I don't need your apology," I said bluntly, "but I hope you won't let someone like Adam ruin your life." Madison nodded. "I left him. And this time, I'm not going back." She walked away, leaving me with the realization that this wasn't just about me and Adam anymore. I hadn't just gotten revenge, I had protected myself. And in the process, I had helped another woman recognize her own worth. A year ago, I had been shattered by a cruel text message. Now, I was no longer a victim. I was the winner. 2 years after Adam left, I stood in front of a brand new store, my 5th boutique in the fashion empire I had built with my own hands. The sleek, elegant sign glowed under the city lights, while streams of customers flowed in and out, and my staff busily arranged the latest collections on the shelves. I couldn't help but smile at the irony of it all. The day Adam sent that message mocking me, he sneered that I only had that little shop to cling to, but that very shop had brought me to a level of success he could never have imagined. News of my career spread farther than I had ever expected. I was invited to speak at women's business conferences, sharing my story of financial independence and the lessons I had learned from my failed marriage. Time and time again, after my speeches, women I had never met before would approach me, gratitude shining in their eyes. "I was in the same situation as you," a middle-aged woman told me after one event, "but after hearing your story, I finally found the courage to walk away. I wasn't just building a business, I was creating something bigger, a movement, a message to women that they didn't need to depend on anyone to live a fulfilling life." While I was thriving, Adam's life was falling apart. I didn't need to keep tabs on him. Updates about his downfall found their way to me. He couldn't hold a stable job, his debts were piling up. After Madison left him, he had nowhere else to go but back to his parents' house. One day I happened to hear from Amanda that Adam had tried his luck with cryptocurrency and stocks but failed miserably. He used to brag that he would soon be rich, that people like me would regret underestimating him. But no one underestimated him, they simply didn't care anymore. Another time I received a message from an unknown number. "I know you've won, you were always the one who planned things better than me, but if you have any compassion left, could you help me just one last time?" I stared at the screen for a moment before deleting the message without responding. Eventually one afternoon I ran into Tanya, Adam's mother. I spotted her hesitantly stepping into my store, glancing around uncertainly. When our eyes met, she sighed and walked over. "You did well," she said, her voice heavy with regret. "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry." I said nothing, waiting for her to continue. I believed Adam. I thought he was just a victim of an unhappy marriage. But now I see the truth. He didn't lose everything because of you. He lost everything because of himself. I looked at her for a long moment before responding gently. "I never wanted revenge. I just wanted to protect myself." She nodded. "And you did a damn good job." I no longer felt anger toward her. No resentment, no bitterness, just a sense of closure. As she left, I returned to my office where a framed picture hung on the wall. It was an old message from Adam, the one he had sent the day he walked away. "I'm heading to California with Madison. Oh, and by the way, our joint account is completely empty now. Good luck figuring things out. Haha." I didn't keep it out of pain or hatred, I kept it as a reminder that I had once been knocked down, but I had risen stronger than ever. No revenge was needed, no bitterness required. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply your own success. This story isn't just about betrayal or a bitter divorce, it's proof of the power of preparation, financial independence, and resilience. Too many people fall into the trap of dependency, believing love can replace personal stability. But the truth is, only when you're self-sufficient can you withstand any storm. No revenge, no resentment. Success is the best response. Invest in yourself, build your own life, and never let anyone take it away from you. What do you think about this story? If you were in the main character's position, how would you have handled it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to follow the channel for more powerful real-life stories about family, life, and valuable lessons.